When your kitchen is stuck in the 80s, it needs to move into this century. So this week we're completing a two-part series to update one.
I don't know what grouting is, but I'm sure I'll learn today.
I've been helping homeowners improve their home for a lot of years. They think it's intimidating, but it actually can be a lot of fun.
And we're here to help. Dad's the expert, but I've learned a few things along the way.
Practical, realistic home improvement information is what today's homeowner is all about. We're in the middle of a two-part series to help Lloyd and Amy update their 80s kitchen. For 6 years, this house has been home for them and their kids, Caroline and Landon. But the kitchen style was much older than that.
And it just all doesn't really blend very well. It just kind of, I don't know, just kind of clashes, I think.
Yeah,
So.
it needs to be modernized.
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 It's a 1980s kitchen. It's really mustardy.
We like mustard on our hot dogs, but not on the walls.
So we helped them put together a plan to modernize the space. The little galley rail shelf thing there, that's gotta go.
He likes the light fixture over the kitchen table. I do not.
I still like my MTV too,
Right.
but I can't have that. That's 80s, so that's gotta
Yeah.
go.
The old, poorly installed backsplash also had to go to make way for a new one.
Whoa.
Oop.
Oh,
Oop.
what do we do?
Patch on all three.
And that fluorescent light fixture was screaming 1984. Who's the popcorn specialist?
That would be me. The scraping the popcorn's not so much the hard work, it's more of just the mess it makes. You know, so you get this popcorn on you, you just gotta like shimmy it off, you know, you don't wanna smear it because...
Oh man.
I'm doing the tedious work, the cleanup and everything else, but I'm seeing all these power tools all around. They're gonna interview us later and say, hey, so what did you do on the project? You know, I swept. When do I get my hands on one of those power tools?
Next, we had to lay out the locations for the new recessed light fixtures. So we need some holes drilled.
And
We're taking you off the cleaning duty for just a little while.
the clouds have finally separated, the sun is shining through, and Danny blessed me with a power tool.
Just want you to know we got a lot of confidence in you.
And then we put a hole in the ceiling.
You know, I think the electrical work on this whole project is going to be pretty simple.
Wait, someone's got to go in the attic to do that.
I know it.
So off to the attic we go, and it is dark up there. And you're trying to find a hole that's maybe 3 inches big and a cord's coming through, and everybody's like, do you see it?
You see it?
But we got those wires through.
Now we're ready to turn our attention to the cabinets.
A lot of people don't realize that you can update the look of stained cabinets without painting them. Clean them up really well, repair any scratches, and give them a fresh coat of polyurethane, new hardware, maybe painting the walls surrounding it. You're gonna get a whole new kitchen without painting a single cabinet door. So now all we have to do is touch up the stain, like you see those little spots,
Right.
and then use this stain sponge
Okay.
and just get a little in there, dip it on, let it sit for a minute, and then wipe the excess off.
Too much?
Yep, that's fine. Now go to the other one. Get the other one over there. Okay, get there. Stop. The longer you leave stain on a wood spot, the darker their color gets. So you gotta wait a few minutes before you wipe it off. All right, we'll let it
Just dry?
1 minute.
And it's just a white? Read any good books lately?
Actually, I am reading a really good one right now.
What's that?
It's about this woman who marries this guy who sells all the arms to one of the regimes in Austria, World War II. But because she's a woman, no one ever pays attention to her being in the room. So she
Right.
overhears all of these like big plans. And like,
It's a love story. I think the book is interesting.
she escapes. She leaves her marriage and comes to America and becomes an actress. Well, she already was an actress, but she like leaves her husband and like comes to America.
It's not my cup of tea. I'm sorry. I tried to stay with it as long as I could.
Okay, I think our minute's up.
All right, so now we're just gonna wipe here.
Very light wipe. Your hand looks very heavy right now.
All right, very light.
Perfection.
I'm trying to be very gentle.
See, the wipe controls how much stain is left behind, so that's why you have to be, the wipe is important. I don't know, let's put a little bit more on there.
So what you're saying is we probably need another minute.
There we go, yeah. But see, what happens when you read a book, you have to read the synopsis before you read it. I think I'm gonna start a book club and Lloyd can be the first member.
Enjoy the book, Chelsea. Enjoy it.
Whenever you're ripping a board to width, meaning cutting it along its length, you often end up with rough saw blade marks on the edge. So you have to sand those off. Now, how you can do it? You can use a power tool, but a power tool is usually too aggressive and it's hard to balance it on that narrow edge. So a lot of people will just hand sand it or use a sanding block. But you have the same problem. If you try sanding it with a block, there's nothing to keep it square on the edge, and it's really easy to either bevel it slightly or to round over a corner. So here's the trick. Use 2 pieces of wood. Use the 3/4 inch plywood as the sanding block, only put the sandpaper on the edge, like that. Fold it over the edge so you have a 3/4 inch wide sanding surface, same width as the thickness of this board. Then take the 1/4 inch plywood piece, which is cut maybe 1.5 inches or 2 longer than the plywood sanding block. And now, when you hold those together on the edge, you can see the thin piece of plywood rides against the face of the board, holding these 2 surfaces at a perfect 90-degree angle for a nice square sanding surface.
Simple Solutions is brought to you by Type Bond, the pro's advantage.
After the break, Amy's got a secret.
I failed.
Oh.
We don't talk about that.
This is the second episode of a 2-part series where we're updating Lloyd and Amy's 80s kitchen. While Lloyd is putting a fresh finish on the cabinet doors, Chelsea and Amy get started on the new backsplash.
So what is this?
This is something that I picked up at Home Depot, and we're actually gonna use it instead of the traditional mastic.
Simple Mat is a new product that actually speeds up the installation of tile. It eliminates one of the major processes of installing tile, putting the mastic on, applying the tile, and letting it dry. It's a nice time saver.
So we'll put this on the wall, put the tile on, and we can grout right away. It's great for first-time tilers, so I think Amy's gonna catch on really quickly.
I don't know what grouting is, but I'm sure I'll learn
That's
today.
the like color that goes between the tiles.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we put those
Usually you
little
have to
things
wait
in?
for the thin set to dry
Oh,
before you
okay.
can put the grout on. So you're like taking an extra day.
So you put a huge sticker on.
A huge sticker. And then you can just cut it with scissors to get it to the right size. And before we put the tile on, we'll run over that with a grout float.
What's a grout?
What's a grout float?
What's a grout float?
We're about to learn.
Do you do it right over, or you have to cut
No,
it?
we'll cut it.
Okay. So if you're not a straight line person, that might be an issue.
We'll just draw you a straight line. How did they let you out of kindergarten?
I failed.
Oh.
We don't talk about that. I think I'm pretty smart, but when it came to kindergarten and cutting, I don't know how I passed.
Can you glue too?
Only the stick.
I threw a rock at a girl in kindergarten. I got sent to the principal's office.
Shocker. And then you have to flatten it. Okay.
Yeah, we just want to get it
What's
nice
this nifty little tool you got here?
This is the grout float. So we'll use this to spread the grout in the lines after we get the tiles up.
When we put back the sticky part and then we had to put the tiles up and just make sure everything is even, I think at first it was a little difficult with the learning curve, but then it became easier. And then I felt really good.
Meanwhile, Chelsea has me outside cutting tile on the wet saw.
Leave the line.
Okay.
2 straight cuts.
I need some french fries and a hamburger.
Me too.
Before long, she has both Lloyd and me fully involved in the backsplash.
I'm mixing up the grout for the subway tile. This color is really gonna make those white tiles pop. But what's great about this is that no matter how many bags we have to mix up to finish this project, the color is going to be consistent. So grout float,
Okay.
and we're gonna scoop up the grout out of the bucket.
Okay.
Okay, and then you kind of smear it on.
Smear?
Yeah, like a bagel.
Like, yeah, cream cheese?
Yeah.
Got it.
yeah,
Okay, okay. Got it.
And then you want to push it into all the grout joints, the lines, at a 45-degree angle.
Now, could
that
this
make sense?
potentially move the tile
No,
though?
they won't move.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would be good.
And this will help lock them in place.
Okay, because we don't need to get all jacked up, right?
No, we don't want to jack up the tiles.
Okay. Oh,
Right.
smear it on.
It's got to get messy though. You have to be okay with a little bit of a mess.
I'm okay with it. I'm gonna watch you
Okay,
do
then
it.
watch me. Okay. Like butter, like smear
Yeah,
on
I
a
like it.
bagel.
Oh, I like it. And this wipes off. I mean, so it does. It looks like.
Ooh, I hope so.
Oh my God, what did we get ourselves into? You hope so? Oh my God.
Of course it wipes off. It's part of the process.
Oh gosh. Okay. It's a learning curve, but now I know, like, I really could be on a home improvement show because I know how to grout now.
I hope Amy is still that positive after they finish their homework tonight, painting all the ceilings and the walls. You know, I know it's hard for these homeowners when they work with us all day long and then we leave them a significant amount of painting
Right,
to do
that's a lot of work.
after a full day's work.
We knew that we would have to have homework. It's just after a long day, it was crazy. And we have some great neighbors, and so they came over and they took care of our kids. And they said, you know.
It looked like y'all are struggling, so let's get it done.
But it was really helpful because it's definitely a long night.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's Homeowners After Hours. That's right, we've just finished painting. Everything's done, it's all painted. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Okay, I remember as a kid, if I wanted to change the channel on the TV, I had to get up and go and do it. And then remote controls came along and it was the best thing ever. Well, could you imagine now you don't have to get up and turn on and off the lights? Well, you can do that with this starter kit. Now, this is the Caseta Diva Smart Dimmer Starter Kit. And in this starter kit, you're gonna get a dimmer switch and the faceplate for it. You're also gonna get the hub, the remote control, and you're also gonna be able to download an app so you can control it with your phone. Now, this is the hub right here. It's very small and it's easy to conceal up on your bookcase or wherever your router is. You just simply plug it in using the Ethernet cable and you're ready to go. Now, these switches take about 15 minutes to install. And of course, you can put as many as you want and then control them with the remote control. Now, it is using the Wi-Fi from your router, but it's not going to compete with other devices that you have on your Wi-Fi. And if you drop the signal, don't worry, you can still turn on and off the lights.
This Best New Product segment is brought to you by the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Coming up,
What is this mixture? Because it looks a little weird.
It's actually stone.
Like real
crushed
snow?
up stone.
Really?
Lloyd and Amy's kitchen was stuck deep in the 80s, so updating it is a big job that's taken 2 episodes. Their homework overnight was painting, and they did a great job. Big difference. It's brighter, it's more modern too.
Yeah, I wish we would have started with the paint and then that might have been all we had to do to this kitchen.
That's true. Now it's time to wrap up that lighting project. So since you did all of that work up in the attic, here's what we've got. So that's where the ceiling fan used to be.
Right.
So we're going to tap into that for the power, and then these 2 pendants, and then the 4 LEDs here will just go around in a circle like that.
Okay.
And Chelsea and Amy are going to take care of the pendants. So if you will strip the wires and prepare them, I'll come right behind you and putting these things in. You're doing something very uncharacteristic.
Reading the directions.
Reading the directions.
We're trying to get rid of all of the things that make this room heavy. So I went with globes that were all glass because they're going to keep the room light, but also let a lot of light out.
I have cut myself so many times. So if you'll take it and go away from you like that.
Okay.
After I remove the knockout plugs from the junction box, I plug each wire into the color-coded quick connectors, close the junction box, and slip it through the hole in the ceiling. Then we can adjust the color temperature of the light for a warm yellow light or a cooler blue light.
We wanted to keep it kind of warm in this space so that it wouldn't feel too industrial, so keeping it at 3000 Kelvin is perfect. What's cool about installing a light fixture is once you've done it once, you pretty much know how to do any light fixture. So it's a great beginner DIY project. The hardest part though is holding your arms above your head and getting that arm workout. All right, Dad, you want to flip the switch?
Yep, you ready?
Okay.
You confident?
Woo! It's so much light.
It is.
Do you love it?
I love it. There is so much light in here. It's so much brighter. Really, yes. I didn't realize how much light they produce. It just makes a whole new feeling.
It's amazing how you can change everything around it and it makes the cabinets look different.
Totally different.
You did a great job with the touch-up stain. Looks great.
Thank you.
The
Thank you.
Sealer on top.
It does look
These will
nice.
last many, many more years for y'all.
Oh yeah.
When we actually hung them back up, it was just such a striking image.
The key thing is that this hardware and the footprint of it matches the other one exactly.
Right.
All right, one down, 250 to go.
I'm glad we didn't repaint, you know, like change the color, because I really do like this wood. It looked like we got new cabinets, to be honest. I have to tell you, I love to tile with this,
Yeah, I
and
know
then
it.
the handles like
See it
the
coming
black.
together now, don't you?
Little things like that I had no idea would make the kitchen pop a little bit more.
Now, on to the countertops.
The key to coating these countertops is to prep it really well. We're using sandpaper to scuff up the surface and to get rid of any kitchen grime that might be left behind. Then we're going to clean it really well so that the primer will stick. All right, so we have 3 steps. So we have the base coat, the black stone coat, and then a clear coat.
Okay, cool. It's like your nails,
Yes.
kind of.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, when you think about it.
Yeah.
You just roll
Yeah.
it on.
You know, you just want to watch out for lap lines, just like on a wall.
Huh.
Not laugh lines. You gotta watch out for those too.
So what does this do actually?
This just helps the next coat bond to your laminate surface. After the first coat of primer dries, we're ready for a second coat of primer. Then once that dries, we can put our black stone coating on.
What is this mixture? Because it looks a little weird.
It's actually stone.
like
little
real
crushed up stone.
Really? So how do I need to put this on?
So you do it in an X pattern, a continual X pattern.
Continual.
So
I'm
X,
so nervous.
and then you X, and
It's like stones are going everywhere. I'm throwing stones. You actually see pieces of stone in there. I mean, it's so crazy how you really see the stone in this.
so once we let it dry and sand it, those flecks are gonna shine through and it's gonna look like a totally different countertop. After sanding, we roll on 2 coats of sealer, which is going to protect the countertop and make it shine.
Finally, we're ready to hang the new chandelier.
Before we do that, we have to have a moment of silence for the old chandelier.
Oh yeah.
That poor chandelier. Okay, let's get this one up.
There we go.
Which will, by the way, should be on Marketplace anytime soon. So
Sell it.
We'll sell it.
Lloyd and Amy's kitchen was textbook 1980s. The galley rail shelf was the first giveaway, but the light fixtures and the sea of warm colors took away all doubt. It all looked like one color with no contrast at all, and the poorly installed piecemeal backsplash didn't help matters because it just blended into the block. But now, the room has a whole new feel. The new wall color is brighter and lighter. We kept the oak cabinets, but we updated them with a fresh finish and contrasting hardware. Now, speaking of contrast, the white tile backsplash with dark grout adds plenty of it, and it coordinates with the more modern light fixtures, which now fill the room with plenty of usable light. That brightness is balanced by the dramatic new finish on the countertops that completes this kitchen's move into the 21st century. And we were able to do all of this for less than $1,200 in materials.
It's wonderful. I mean, we didn't have to destroy anything. I mean, the cabinets are still the same cabinets, the countertops are still the same countertops, but because of some new paint, it looks completely different. The subway tile that goes all the way around, I mean...
That's awesome. I was really focused on, definitely needed to change the paint, the paint, the paint. The paint is awesome, but it's also little things like the hardware and the lighting. It's just so much brighter and it's more inviting. It just really makes the space look a lot bigger too.
Absolutely.
It's little things like that. I just didn't know we're gonna make such a big impact and change the whole room.
You know, when most homeowners are looking and making a big change in their kitchen, they think they have to tear everything out and replace it. Well, you can see that's not the case. By just changing up some of the surfaces, improving the lighting, and a few other strategic things, we made a big difference in this kitchen. Now, we had a lot of help, and Lloyd and Amy were really into every facet of this remodeling project and were a lot of fun to be with. Chelsea and I had a great time. Hey, I'm Danny Lipford. Thanks so much for being with us here on today's Homeowner. We'll see you next week.
Okay, Lloyd, turn it on.
Danny and Chelsea, that they did a wonderful job.
We
Thank
want
you.
to invite them over for dinner.
Yes, they need to come back for dinner.
Yes.
So a good spaghetti with marinara sauce and
Lots of
everything else.
marinara.
And then when we're done, you know what we'll do?
What?
We'll say, hey, Danny, time to clean the dishes. And we'll walk right out.